This is one of the best day trips from Athens that leads to an ancient sanctuary where nature meets history. It's called the Whispering Walls of Athens. And today we'll explore this fascinating place together. But before we do, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. This is the plan for today. First, we will start our hike at the top of this hill, and then we'll descend into this valley. And along the way, we will see some remains of ancient walls, which is how the whole place got its name, the Whispering Walls. Then we'll reach this beautiful temple, the Temple of Nemesis, and continue our walk until we get to the river and then return back. If you prefer to not hike and just admire the landscape, there is also a road that connects all those places. But if you want to enjoy the beauty of the nature, I would highly recommend hiking. So let's start our journey from here, from the top of the hill. The path starts right behind this church and continues down. After a few minutes of walking, you will hear these birds, and when you get closer, you will see a beautiful and very old plane tree. The plane tree is not only beautiful, it's also massive and huge. There are actually several of them here. So this place is a perfect spot for a break. You can sit under the trees and enjoy the sounds of the birds. Nature really is amazing. And now let's continue our walk. We will walk past a restaurant, and after a few minutes we will see the first Whispering Wall. These walls are actually the remains of the long defensive walls of Athens. They were built in the 5th century BC to protect the city against Persians and later against Spartans. In total, there were about 20 kilometers of walls built around Athens. Today, only fragments remain, but they are still pretty cool to see. The walls are located high up in the mountains, so the hike has some elevation gain. However, don't worry because the path is not difficult. It's easy to walk even for small children. After a while, we will see another part of the walls and also the Temple of Nemesis. The temple was built in the 4th century BC and dedicated to the goddess Nemesis, who is the goddess of retribution. So basically this temple was a kind of reminder for Athenians that no matter how powerful you are, you will be punished if you do bad things. Behind the temple, there are some stairs carved in the rock, and if you climb them, you will have a nice view towards Athens. On a clear day, you can even see the sea. This place is also known as the Mountain of the Nymphs, and in my opinion, it's one of the most underrated places near Athens. I mean, look at this view. It's absolutely stunning. Now let's continue our walk. We will go past some rocks with interesting shapes, and when we get lower, we will hear the sound of flowing water. And finally, we will see the river. In Greek, the river is called Eridanos, and it's one of the most important rivers in Greece. It has a length of about 40 kilometers, and in ancient times, it was considered sacred because it flowed into the Ilissos River, which flowed through Athens. The water of the Ilissos River was actually used for drinking in Athens, and legend has it that the hero Theseus killed the monster called Siren near this river. Siren used to tie travelers to a stone and then beat them with a club until they died. But Theseus managed to defeat him, so travelers could use the river safely. Today, the river is popular among Athenians for fishing and picnicking. You can also swim here, but be careful because the water can be very cold. By the way, this river has a lot of fish and turtles. That's why I said it's a great place for fishing. We will walk along the river for a while and then turn back. On the way back, you can stop at any place you like. For example, here at this bridge, you can take some nice pictures of the river. Also, you can pick some herbs. Here they grow in abundance. By the way, if you go further down the river, you will come to the village of Kappadridi. The village is famous for a huge plane tree in the center, which is actually the biggest plane tree in Greece. Its age is estimated to be between 701. 0 years, it's definitely worth a visit. So you can either hike all the way down to the village or take your car and combine the hike with a trip to the village. Overall, the hike is not too long. It takes about 3 hours. But of course, it depends on how many breaks you'll take. What I liked about this place is that it combines nature and history in a very nice way. On the one hand, you have the beautiful river surrounded by lush vegetation. And on the other hand, you have the remains of ancient walls, which remind us of the rich history of this area. Ancient Athens was not only a big and powerful city, it was also surrounded by nature. The Athenians knew how important it was to have green spaces around the city because they believed that nature could bring people happiness and peace. That's why they created parks and gardens in Athens even in ancient times, and today we can enjoy the fruits of their labor. We can explore the mountains and rivers near Athens and at the same time learn about the history of this amazing city. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.